Okay, so like I believe in the person right now for like now it being revealed that they believe in like the symbol, the official symbol image of like the golden dome and night squad even being like coming with like face like breaking up behind like the mountain behind it like the behind the castle that castle will be precisely representing like the person like Clover will be precisely representing like the Clover kingdom and basically the castle in the castle of the Clover kingdom and basically that the first son would be like directly related to and hinting at like precisely like the ISM and night sun is definitely my preference. The common fact of sun being in both like symbol of like the golden dawn as well as like even like the group of like the ISM and night sun, even having like the term sun, like the word sun definitely should all be like precisely due to like definitely it's having definitely having like but for right now my passenger impression that really because of this common factor definitely my passenger impression that like William Mantis might have been like the first person that might have definitely created like created like that golden dawn magic night squad definitely my passenger impression and so like my considerations are like things that it's already revealed that basically back when like Lich was young, Lich and Beto was young, and then personally talking about things that was like the second day Lich like the when back when like the second day Lich and Beto were like young and all Lich was like at that point like the like attack had that had happened in like the elf tribe like they believe I mean literally an attack another attack like done by effectively like the novel definitely no perfect the floor and the definitely not taking so like in that attack like the one of that those like noble might have supposedly affected like the mother of Lich certainly might have been emotion as he might have had like after affecting he might have had like William Mansions with like William Mansions might have been born as like the son of like that noble and like Lich's mother especially might have been emotion so like specifically my technical generation that like as for like the reason for that such novel and who might have like the recent past might have affected a little more during like the recent past might have been precisely to like have the fun he had like who's like extremely beautiful and had like extremely high mana technically my technical generation so then like once like a million man just was born like I'm definitely think that novel might have been like extremely gotten like extremely angry and like he might have most likely taken the life of like William Anderson like actual true mother. William Anderson and Elizabeth like actual true mother of his wife and basically he might have straight away put away thrown like poor William Anderson into like the forsaken reality. Definitely might have been so yeah, while William Anderson was like might have been all by himself and might have been like totally struggling to like survive and the suffering might be precisely doing by them that have the suffering the childless back then might have grown up as to a certain extent and like that child list like that list might have like them precisely found William might have eventually learned of like basically where exactly his like mother had been like affected to and the fact that basically this like noble had basically taken the life his mother and basically this might have also realized that basically like before dying like this is mother had eaten people as well. So like I'm also talking like that way leads eventually figuring out about like William and existence and basically which might have always found William and perfectly back when like William Manson was like totally abandoned by like the villainous noble father of like William Manson that was like all alone struggling to survive in like the second film like it might have been potentially of them that's like Lich might have totally found William Manson then like Lich might have okay able to talk about like the villainism of like uh William and as I think so like until then maybe even William and might have been totally unaware of like the death of like William Mansion's like mother being probably due to that William Mansion's like noble father. So for the name of this pyramid. So like so Lich might have the period of time Lich might have met William Mansion might have been precisely when William Mansion might have been abandoned and by in like the forsaken realm. It's definitely my thing. So like they are like Lich might have revealed everything about like the extreme villainous of like the nobles and royals of like the law movement and everything. Of like the Black Tribe and as to like how like Lich and William Mansions are actually brothers. Like they believe this might have against all this and then I'm considering William and just might have had that extreme like Like Amrita might have only sided with like decided to like side with like Lich and basically Lich might have admitted that reduce Lich's plan to like and Lich might have only seen like the exceptional mana Lich might have only straightaway seen that like Illumination had inherited like the exceptional mana of like their blood, right? So this might have only assigned Illumination to like this plan to like eventually infiltrate into like the law fundament and destroy the law fundament and while INX will be like working from outside to like destroy the law fundament like by like using the absolute stealth like the William could like infiltrate into like the law fundament eventually the guy who has like is like he's like he has good intention and eventually fully destroy without combined effort like let's and with combined effort from internally and externally we will be able to like destroy like the boss, and get out the base like that way like basically like William might have only tried to like legend agrees to exactly that and get revenge on like the clothing, but it's the all the royals and nobles and the clothing and destroy like clothing. Most definitely one of the event when people like definitely my personal impression that like it might be after this that basically especially like the noble father of like William might have eventually let him like have like a change in like decision and basically took back like the abandoned building matches like that synchron might have happened after like Lich might have share his plans to like get revenge on like the law from the Wolfman of the law from the two building matches which that live and the generation. So my personal impression that and that's the reason for that that noble having like a change of mind and basically deciding to take back William Matthews like the president solely due to like him basically like he might not only after like taking the life of Litz and William and mother like basically else mother like at that point I'm just he might not only got he might have married something and basically that might have been like the first stepmother of William Mandel that like after like especially uh, the noble father of William Mandel had taken him back like basically that it might have been that the stepmother of William Mandel that might have been like first in half towards half and towards like William Mandel definitely my consideration. So my consideration that there's a reason for that so that noble even that having a change of position and even taking William Mandel back was the president's only due to like things possibly having might have by then had like children with like the stepmother of William and like his new wife and basically like his new wife but all the children and all the children like even though the child was the child was like extremely beautiful like had like a extremely high mana like about like all the children that were born might have been genuinely so beautiful but might have lacked seriously lacked some sort of and sort of center relevant levels of mana that may be able to bring. So like that might have been what it actually might have caused and force and might have forced like things to like eventually fall back and get back William Magic from of second real. And that might be how that Chernobyl might have taken like the William Magic back into like family noble family, especially noble parents. So like I'm considering his step like the rest of like the noble father might have been precisely the result of that most likely might have been like the result of William Magic, especially nothing to William Magic like learning about all the villain things that the noble God has like including William Anderson's own father, like the individual, like which might have like taken out the revenge and basically taken the life, selfishly might have totally taken the life of William Anderson's noble father. Especially not the that might be how he might have died, especially not the and then the maybe William Anderson might have also step taken with the case person might have also taken the life of that stepmother of William Anderson as well, who was like being extremely so William Anderson. So like might have been what might have happened is, in that distant past the female position industry. So like I was referring initially like the Leviathan and Lich might have only gotten lucky with precisely like with the King Julius basically precisely fighting William and one day basically with the King Julius like only straight away taking absolutely being trained and straight away taking interest in William and superior man and straight away William and might have straight away King Julius might have the King Julius might have only told William Vandals to like be part of my army, and basically like it might have been Julius that might have given like Vandals like the power to create like the Sword Magic Knight Squad, and that might be how like the Golden Dawn Magic Knight Squad might have been created by precisely William Vandals at that point, and that might be, and I'm also surprised maybe it might have been also like a strategical trick that might have eventually resulted in like exactly like 2 years like innocently and without realizing the truth, like actually might have straight away taken William Manders to the like the path of like Julius army, especially the Hamilton. Maybe it might have been such that according to like the exact plans of like precisely leaks as well as like the secret and silky planet like leaks as well as William Mandel that basically Lich might have totally told William Mandel to like precisely perform like since like Lich totally realized once like Lich realized that William Mandel has 15 high mana and like Lich might have secretly and stealthily totally studied like the personality and character of like the person who is king like William Mandel so with King Julius and as to like how he's like extremely obsessed with like mana and magic and people that like who has potential in like magic and mana and everything. So like I'm also talking well, like Lich might have maybe it might have been Lich just like the first strategy direct precisely. Lich might have totally told like doing this plan and strategy to like William Angels to like precisely to totally make it look absolutely accidental as if like basically one day like and Lich might have by then like probably studied like like the Wizard King hobbies, like basically after like where like the Wizard King Julius like usually travels around and basically all that. So that like he might have set up like this might have set up such a perfect scenario that basically that it might have totally appeared like natural and accidental to work and in the friend Julius that he one day totally had ran into precisely one day had totally ran into precisely like William and certainly my own time. It in actuality it might have been a trap set by Lich for like Julius to like that way only for Julius to like that way get interested and extremely intrigued in like vengeance of like William and like expected on high mana and that way for Julius that way Lich might have only expected Julius to like exactly that way make Vangelis William Vangelis to be part of like Julius' army with our army. So like that way to create that infiltration of like William Vangelis like the into like the whole army management squad army of like the King Julius to like basically attack and then that way attack and destroy like the with like that itself to attack and destroy and even pass on like internal info and knowledge and everything to precisely what the happenings that are happening internally within like the law kingdom, like basically in the castle of the law kingdom and the researching and everything to like stealthily pass on all that information to like to precisely lich and all that and to like precisely do maximum damage from within like the law kingdom basically that way, like it might have been a draft set by precisely Lich for like Julius might, which like Julius might have not even be realizing into the percentile that might have resulted in like Julius even picking and choosing like William Manzons to be part of like not part like even giving like William Manzons the power to like basically create his own. Because like Julius might have been so exceptionally impressed with like Manzons with like exceptionally high mana than like Julius might have straight away felt that basically like Manzons there shouldn't even be part of like it shouldn't even enter like an already shouldn't even go through a magic night entrance exam or like even enter like as like just a basic member of like any already existing matchmate squad, but like that like Julius might have probably been so extremely interested with like matching things like to see the high mana and magic powers that really Julius might have felt that like that like that William Andrews was like totally worthy and deserving to like basically to straight away be like the captain of like and create his own Magic Knight squad. So like that might be how like the Golden Dawn Magic Knight squad might have been created by William Andrews and the precise like secret thing in basically William Andrews like secret allegiance to like the Ayatollah Nation would be like precisely that precise simple picture of like the Golden Dawn has even being like a sun with like a face like basically draping behind like the a castle which would be precisely like the cloth would be precisely what that castle would be representing and basically that golden dawn would be like that isolation group being represented through that sun, like slowly creeping and behind and towards like that castle to like eventually catch up to that castle and basically destroy, consume and destroy like the entire castle. So this definitely my commentary and person. Okay, so like definitely looking to the impression right now that like definitely won't be at all to exactly also about like basically him not being at all worried for like as a reason like unhealable scene like amnesia. So definitely my person very understanding to be perfectly and solely due to like having that absolute confidence in Asta that basically Asta would be like I don't know like the like through would be like totally eventually sorting it out and it would be solely due to that extreme confidence that like that absolute confidence that would be having on after would be like the sole reason for like not being worried about like after recent harm issues. Definitely not something to render. Okay, so like definitely not something to render right now is that like lots of people definitely wrong about like the magic stone hearing of like the creative of like basically that actually belongs to like the energy like that would be totally due to like the lack of awareness of process definitely my consideration. In actuality, definitely my consideration it might have been precisely the queen which is herself that might have precisely stolen that single magic stone precisely, and she might have precisely done that precisely when like that whole incident in like legend incident from like the legend might have happened in like that very distant past, that is in like the distant past month, like Lich might have like the ancient ancestor Lich in like the distant past might have only turned himself into like that giant dark demon and fought off against like the very first Wizard King. And once like in that distant past, like in that fight, like basically once like that ancient ancestor Lich might have only lost to like the very first Wizard King. And that point of claim of his revelation that like what might have happened would be actually all the magic stones that might have been like contained within that like giant dark demon might have that they want the chance of list being defeated like straight away, like all those Nightstone might have scattered across the world. It's definitely might have like one piece of like the Nightstone might have precisely fallen in precisely like the forest of witches area. It's definitely my personal emotion. And like the Queen Witches might have really found that out and basically uh precisely she might have decided to like keep it as her hearing because like the Queen of Witches might have been totally against like the uh might have definitely wouldn't want might have definitely wanted like another resurrection in like the case of that process like giant dark demon. So like I'm just bring like this would be like so legend from like the creator which was having stone that precise milestone that really actually belongs to Lich and like the like right. It's definitely my personal impression. So like this would be something that like this is my personal impression and this would be something that Claus is totally unaware of, like the history of it, the true history of Little Legend. It's definitely my personal impression and hence why Claus is totally right now like naively assuming that basically the Mad Stone actually belongs to like the real because it's definitely my personal impression. So for like definitely according to my personal impression, since that I'm also different elements to definitely be secretly allied to like the eye of the midnight run, like I was think the exact reason for like element is taking special interest towards like the which precisely and solely due to like having inherent depth like the folklore framework of the precise therapist researching is definitely my personal represent. Hence like having all that potential and all that power within him. So like even already and like solely due to like that folklore film where like basically William and would be by now well and fully aware that basically will be having like a lot more potential within him to basically bring out and like bring like for what like William and would be currently seeing as would be like that ultimate eventual future third eye member for like the eighth midnight to for like the incident to precisely remotely control. It's definitely my positive answer. That will be what like William and would be like currently and even from for a while might have been totally free. And ever since like the William and might have found out that has like so him definitely my positive answer. So like my remembers were like once like William and like the very first time William and might have after like entering like the golden dawn like once like the William and found out that basically has like a folklore framework that like only like the surfing alone like the very first surfing alone had like before like basically numbers like printing like at that point what William might have done might have William might have secretly might have reported that to protest the lich as well as the present day lich as well as the ancient ancestor list and at that point the ancient ancestor list might have found might have precisely like the ancient ancestor list at that point of time that might have straight away found extremely intriguing, especially when the people you know, and was like for plotting or extremely intriguing, especially when the material. So like at that point, if example, the ancient ancestor list might have certainly told his plan to work for the present day list as well as like William Adams basically his plan is to like essentially use the third eye on eventually to basically use like the third eye on so like considering they will be totally setting up such absolute slow yet like precise case in a manner and like the Iphone will be setting up uh, that precise path towards like eventually being able to like either brainwash or like manipulate or like somehow eventually precisely be for like the Iphone to be able to like install the third eye onto use for like the internet stuff needs to like eventually be able to like use like third eye onto and for like the internet stuff needs to like also add that eventually as like the another member of like the third eye. It's definitely not going to and at that point I'm comparing the internet stuff would be currently only believing that at that point the iPhone will be like unstoppable. Like if like they get like a fourth or three more or something access as like a third eye number then at that point the iPhone group would be like so extremely getting that extreme boost in its like aura right and might that like at that point the iPhone group would be like the force to be attacking the definitely weapon and the instance of lich might have revealed all the plan to like not only lich but the present day lich but also to precisely William and that but definitely weapon this might be the precise reason for William and is like for a while now having taken that for having that extreme special interest towards precisely it's definitely my personal remembrance. So like I definitely my personal remembrance right now is for like this whole plans of like the internet journalists to eventually control using the third eye that whole plan of like the internet journalists which I'm technically talking right now is to eventually definitely get the very different to definitely succeed. Which definitely my personal remembrance. So succeed but only in temporarily succeed is definitely my personal remembrance. Like at that point, like one like the internet system list you will be controlling with like the third eye. At that point, I'm also being like totally exceptionally strong and basically like at that point you'll be when I'm precisely pressing like the eventual ultimate serious actual versus Aztec fight usually would be happening taking place in like the very distant future. It's definitely my position and but be like at that point that finally that whole actual and true surpassing of Asta over in terms of point might see that actually happening like that about actual Asta a hierarchy between like actual proper hierarchy between Asta and in terms of actual power fighting skills and power like they really that about the current to be formed slightly through that fight that will be take place in like that very different future. So, in that fight I'm not referring like Asta totally eventually initially totally CS is struggling against like forward struggling while will be using like third eye music control and will be using like the third eye power coupled with like all the folklore Grimbar power and fairy power of like a definitely method and I'm different precisely at that point by especially being controlled by the third eye power of like the engine and the service remotely like at that point I'm different even fairy would be having like a change in its form and would be turning into like a dark and villainous kind of fairy form. It's definitely my personal immersion. That's also like a scenario that ended up becoming. And then persevering through that fight, like initially, after Tony Seeds is struggling to even keep up against like the ultimate power of use the villainous, but like I'm saying eventually as the struggling way to like he's actually finally being able to like for and defeat that and that through that defeat would be how like Asta would be precisely would be like be able to remove like the third eye of and basically save that way and basically that would be how the control the temporary control that basically that control that basically the engine as well is using third eye on will be having Silver precisely wants like after communicating, that like he will be losing that control and basically, we want to get saved, be saved by us and like, would be like getting back to the black ones and everything. Uh, and finally will be back to his normal, then the certainly not well. And from that point, I'm even though, would be like still not realizing that he has been like defeated by Abdul, like still delivering like even at that point, like for him of like even making the still keeping that competition going, but like as of like the rivalry going as that way, like saying that like I wasn't even conscious while fighting, I was totally being controlled. Like so like that won't count as like a fair fight. And basically still keeping up that whole rivalry with Asuka and Asuka as well, like doing the very same thing. And but I'm totally different like from that fight on, like I'm totally different like not for like another was like as the serious fight to like ever happen in like the future again. And but from that point on, like I'm considering, would be like trying to doing his absolute best to keep up the competition, but after like I'm considering from that point on, like from that fight on, like I'm considering like Asuka's strength will like straight away increase more and more, and like the gap of like strength between like Asuka and like sharply increasing more and more with like Asuka being more and more and more stronger than as like time passes from that point on. It's like the usual scenario that I'm looking at all the and we're looking to the direction. So like the play makers is very interesting right now as for like classes like I have to midnight on study session like I'm going to like totally turn into like it continues then the after the episode to turn it into like a filler that's like a filler recap of like everything like that everything about like the detailing about like everything that so that has been so far revealed about like the I have to midnight and all of like their filler attacks and everything that they have done diatomination group have done so far, and all the information relating to like diatomination that basically so far has been like related to all that like going closely going through all that as like and that totally turning into like a filler recap and that episode. It's like the scenario that I'm looking right now and I'm looking to also, like I'm totally tracking maybe of like a possibility that like in the very recent future, like basically even notes and like basically I think like the current strongest in the I think like notes is like the captain effect. So I think like the squad name is like Silver Eagles. So like and like the current strongest in like the Silver family, I think is like notes. So like I'm just maybe of like the possibility maybe like the very recent future somehow like the ancient answer is also succeeding in like maybe controlling like using the third eye controlling Northel as well. And that way Northel as well like attacking like the claw from the net thing along with like other villains of like the other villain armies of like the Isominism. Maybe it might be during like a war like situation. So also like definitely I'm considering maybe of like such a scenario happening in like the very distant future. So like I'm considering like in such a scenario it would be like Northel wielding the power of like the third eye and like and all this like especially for magic and everything basically fighting off against like at that point until the in the distant future like precisely Noel like fighting off against Noel and that being like the ultimate stage for like Noel that ultimate final stage for like Noel to like finally prove to like the entirety of like the Silva family and even though from Noel's point of view like Noel's priority wouldn't be to like prove to like the Silva family at all at that point but like at that point like Noel would be like totally viewing like his her brother as being in like such extreme great danger and she would be only thinking along the lines of that have a high and only number one priority at that point would be let's say brother. So brother Noels. So like but like through that fight like what Noel would be accomplishing would be like precisely like through that battle like eventually able to bring Noel straight away like struggling to the extreme against like Noel like for strength but like eventually no Noel eventually finds struggling her way into like eventually overpowering and defeating Noel, and that way saving Noel from like the control of the third eye. But like through that act of like Noel defeating Noel, like basically it will be basically her throwing through like the entirety of like the Silva family that have totally like repeatedly framed her as like a failure. That basically she is not a failure. That she's not only not a failure, but that she's currently she has achieved like the levels of being like the strongest, current strongest in like the Silva's family by even surpassing Noah. That way, like Noel, like making that such a bold statement through her action, is like also like an eventually possible scenario that might happen in like the very distant future is also definitely my consideration for sure. And that way, like basically, like the entire case with the silver being forced to like acknowledge and accept and recognize no one as like not even a failure, but like as like strong like the silver family. Basically, that way, like basically the end of the thing, that would be like one of like the biggest moment for like no in the show. It's also like definitely an eventual possible scenario that I personally think of no one to have that ultimate moment finding like the very different future with like definitely the scenario that I personally bring in the temperature. Oh, so like definitely my the right now is that it needs the three strong emotions of like faith, hope, and love. Like basically these three emotions like from like definitely like the extra like right mind not only knows they are these three strong emotions due to like solely due to like the repeated attacks from like the humans on like the innocent like fighters definitely like all the way from like the terrorist part is definitely like so like especially due to this like different thing the ancient answer is like from his point of view what he would be like what saying that like basically by destroying like the claw kingdom like they would be able to like get back that emotions they had that effect emotions of like faith hope and love in order to get back those emotions for like the different like tribe and for like the ancient ancestors like they would have like basically like destroyed the claw kingdom. It's definitely my vegetarian version. So like with that, so like that would be around the lines so that like the internet might be thing definitely might have thought is definitely and it would be thinking to the person is definitely my good imagine this might be the professor written for like him totally creating like that ultimate destructive his like ultimate destructive force of like the third eye. It's like that when he initially created like the third eye, like him was like having that created. It might have been the ancient ancestor list that might have exactly even decided with all those emotions might have already decided to create like the third eye group of like initially of like Sana, Peto as well as like Araya and gave them like the precise opposite of like these three emotions that the elf like tribe had lost like the staff and basically the slower basically like it might have been that ultimate strategy that like ancient and religion might have been to eventually to precisely use the precise opposite of the those precise like emotions that like the elf tribe had lost to like basically crush and destroy like the claw kingdom and like the humans. So basically so that that way like the ancient ancestors like will be only hoping that with that way they will be able to like get back everything they had lost from like the very distant past, including not only their mana but like their hope, their love, and like their faith. That's definitely my personal impression. Yeah, so like indeed my personal impression as well like this which basically are recognizing ourselves like a demon dweller as well as demon slayer sword as well as like ourselves like fight for framework like when Lich saw that for like the very first time and with me during the whole fight in like the cave where like as the Yang had seen like the and Yang had fought up against like the third eye, three members of the third eye for like seen and fought against them for like the very first time. Like basically during that time basically Lich basically seeing as the like demon dweller and demon slayer sword as well as the fight floor grim for like the very first time and being shocked and even saying that it belongs to the master. Like basically, the since like it's lit and lit and even it lit is basically talking about like all that belonging to the master. Personally, I'm still thinking to my best answer that that's precise master of lit might definitely be like the ancient ancestor lich who might have traveled from like the legend from like the days of like the legend from like the distant past to like the future present day after like in that so that incident where that legend had taken place the fight in like the legend had taken place and like the it might have been I'm still thinking about the realization that like the ancient ancestors might have who might have totally transformed who might have turned into like that transformed and turned into that giant dark demon and fought up against like the very first with the thing and on losing against like the very first with the thing he might have precisely escape by precisely traveling into the future and he might have came to like the present day and basically he might have precisely found like the that like basically they'll like tribe had basically is still alive even after so many years and basically like he might have only seen like the percentage like looking exactly identical to the ancient ancestor list, and basically he might have revealed to like something list about like the entire history of like the Elk tribe and like the incident from like the legend and everything. So we might have only gotten like the percentage, the ancient ancestor list might have only gotten like the percentage to his side, and they together might have started like the IFM Midnight group, created like the IFM Midnight group and everything. So precisely because of all this, like this is my cousin theory and like precisely according to this theory, like the precise master, like that precise and that precise list is even talking about to on seeing like Astas like Demon Dweller and Demon Slayer as well as like Astas White Crow Grimmer for like the first time during that fight in that game, that precise list would be precisely the percentage and like the first person he's talking about as master would be like the precise list from like that ancient past, like the ancient ancestral list. It's definitely my secondary version right now that I'm still figuring out and my secondary. So basically, I'm still sticking to my secondary version that basically even while like the demon dweller as well as the demon slayer as well as like the five floor grimnar of Nazca in like the ancient past might have totally belong to, definitely belong to like the ancient ancestors from like the ancient past. Like still, my cousin remembers like after his like defeat to like the after he transformed into like the giant dark demon and after his defeat to like the very first thing, like it might have been precisely his act of like that ancient ancestor like his act of like basically saving himself by precisely traveling into like the future by himself might have been totally seen like as like an act of cowardice by precisely that demon spirit that had granted Lich all that power to be able to fight off it in like that ancient past against like the very first which I think was definitely not going to remember. So like that might be like that like traveling of like and escape of like the ancient ancestor Lich into like the future to save himself might have been only viewed as like an act of cowardice by like the first demon spirit that the demon spirits might have only left to it's like the demon realm. And then the different it might have been precisely staying there, patiently waiting for like an eventual descendant from like self like right who would be precisely worthy of like the demon's power. And above the praying precisely he might have found that precisely descendant in precisely Asta in like the very distant future in precisely Asta, and that might be the precise reason for like the Asta's like never giving up attitude might have totally impress like that demon spirit, and basically that might be the precise reason for like the in like for like one day just out of the blue like the precise demon slayer code as well as like the five floor gym are like appearing right in front of Asta through some purple light thing which will be precisely the demon real where like that demon spirit might have been like staying until the present day, and definitely not looking very much. Also, like definitely, I'm still sticking to my other prediction as well and theory as well. That is, even though Hashtag doesn't have 20 years, definitely that is only due to like Hashtag being like the descendant, the present day, like Hashtag being like the long line of like descendant of like from like the child, the ancient ancestor list, as well as like the uh, as well as like the Fana lookalike wife of like the ancient ancestor list had like the best songs that they had like basically it would be like the long line of descendants of that song will be like precisely the Sunday after, and definitely that Fana lookalike wife of like the ancient ancestor list might have definitely been like a human and not like an elf, and this will be like that main factor in basically Asta having being like a human, but like still being like actually only being like true representative of like the health like right. It's definitely my personal impression. So like my personal impression of the like the ancient ancestor list as well as like the Sunday list as well as like the third I would be totally and absolutely wrong about like after having some host stolen like basically the demon dweller and demon slayer as well as like the fighter or grimmer when it actually it might have been like the demon spirit itself, the demon spirit itself like basically rejecting like the ancient ancestor lich and choosing Asta would be like the sole reason for like Asta currently opting like the demon slayer demon dweller sword as well as like the fighter grimmer definitely my position and direction. So like potentially because of theory and so they definitely think that like there would be like another definitely another demons are like way more extremely villainous than like the demons that the demon spirit that basically that controlled and granted like the ancient ancestor which all that power and with like the ancient ancestor which in like that let fighting like the legendary able to transform into like the giant dark demon monster like basically the demon spirit that granted like the ancient ancestor which all that power like and to bring that demon spirit to especially like stay with us that still the very end is certainly my personal dream. But like in the case of so the next strategy like so the strategy eventually like the ancient ancestor list will be like figuring out to be precisely the existence of like another demon like that's even way more the is stronger than that as just like demon spirit and basically would be way more villains and way more stronger than as just demon spirit and as that definitely my positive impression. So that demon spirit like eventually like the internet governments would be figuring out about for like the existence of a type of different from that point on like the ancient Anthropologists and like the Ayatollah Midnight Sun basically working towards like basically awakening and like summoning that precise demon, CPW also a demon because like they destroyed like the clothing, but it's like the eventual scenario that and the all everything. And still I'm persevering eventually the odds would be again as the in like that final ultimate showdown fight between Asta and like that the villain demon like Apple still Asta while fighting alongside his like demon and I'm also putting like Asta eventually like forming that absolute bond with like the spirit within Asta. Definitely remember very much for like I'm also putting Asta eventually struggling his way into like basically while fighting alongside like the demon Asta demon spirit like basically together with their combined team effort like them totally overcoming like the odds and basically literally totally overcoming and defeating that other even more awkward demon. Like the music scenario that I mentioned, that would be how like Asuka would be saving the talking from that awkward demon uh, from that and basically like not only saving like the close kingdom, but that would be what straight away would be making Asuka like the Asuka visiting as well of like the close kingdom as well. It's definitely my personal ambition. Okay, so like definitely my question today I'm rushing that like basically back in like the fight in Alexander Water Temple when no one was starting to like fight up against Beto and no one pulled out her like the Dragon Throat magic like basically and Beto straight away like recognizing no one as like royalty and considering it's only and solely has to do with like basically my person is that like initially like the adaptive of like the humans in like the very distant past might have had like around like equal equivalent levels of like mana so definitely my husband everything like almost like the majority of like the humans are regardless that initially like before like a royal and noble like all this like classification that existed like I'm considering that four humans might have had like back then like all humans might have had like equivalent levels around like equivalent levels of like the very same levels of mana, especially my positive emotion. So my positive impressions are like what might have happened would be that the very first humans to like basically find like discover like the existence of the dead black tribe might have been like the and even back then like basically still while humans might have like the entire humans might have had like around 12 levels of like mana like uh so like a low mana like and also something like in the case of like the black tribe like even back then like they might have been like naturally skin down by mana even though that's certainly not so like the very first uh group of humans to like literally discover like the black tribes might have straight away might have been totally initially been fascinated by like the certain levels of mana then that why they don't have like and like they might have totally like noticed like that like the black tribe were like were all like extremely empathetic and kind-hearted and genuine people. So like I'm considering that the very first group of humans might the word might have only spread about like the existence of like elder tribe of like the human considerable. So like among like the humans that might have among those very of humans who found like the elder tribe like who might have had like literally I'm considering like the ones that had like that extreme villainistic cap within the to precisely they might have totally decided to like basically they might have initially even though they might have been fascinated by like the successful man of like the exact right like then in the fascination might have turned into like jealousy and like them seeing like opportunity in like the villainistic man of the steel take advantage of like the poor elf like right like extreme kindness that to basically trick them into like basically stealing their mana. Uh, Either through trickery or through force, like basically to basically steal their mana. And because like among like the humans back then, like these certain the humans is like villains, the characters might have wanted to feel important, uh, wanted to feel special and important. So like these the humans who have shared this kind of like intent, villains intention might have certainly this might have been like concept humans initially at the very beginning that might have teamed up and grouped up and basically might have totally either through trick or trap or somehow might have totally attacked like tribe or like might have totally affected like a bunch of like tribe. It might have been what might have happened as also possible scenario that might happen very distant after settling into the gravity. And that way, like I'm considering the humans might have usually figured out a way to like basically steal the mana of like the insect tribe and make it their own. So like that might be the point when like the very first royals and nobles might have been born. So definitely my vegetarian mission. Before that, I'm considering like the classifications might have not even existed like among like the humans for like royals and nobles and all that. Definitely my vegetarian. So like I'm considering among the ones that have basically among the ones that have basically stolen like the mana of like the innocent like right like basically using that exceptional mana like they might have been able to like make a lot of money and basically like maybe that would be like how maybe like might maybe like through like that exceptional mana like they might have probably even ruled over have improved force as well as the limit of the because like all the remaining humans might have had like such low levels of mana, certainly not the Museum. So like that might be like the biggest currency back then, certainly not the current mana might have been seen as like the biggest currency back then, certainly not the current. So like that way, like the classification of like, the royals and nobles and all this platform is definitely not the current. So certainly more and more nobles might have been formed precisely through like the repeated like infiltration and attack on like the black rights by humans. Especially my for like the cause of like the great number of mafias, especially my consideration. So like this might be like the precise reason uh for like the elf like tribe like basically even to the present day like even better as well basically so like my personal remembrance is that like the recent person like basically like during like the fight in like the Underworld temple between like Noel and Beto like when Noel has pulled out her the dragon's roast and like basically at that point like Beto might have been either Beto or it might have been precisely like the ancient as the list like controlling Beto since like already the third eye spell was like placed upon Beto like and like so like third eye power existed within Beto like even with the white Beto or like even back when the Beto or Pana or like Raya were like using the third eye power like bringing out like their third eye and using that ultimate power like even then like since like the third eye spell has already placed on them by precisely the ancient it's like a different they would be like even if I not bringing out like that right out like still they would be like totally controlled maybe still controlled by like the ancient so it's also like my theory maybe so it might be either better or like so it might be either through the knowledge gain through better through like about like the ancient history by like the ancient ancestors or like it might be the ancient ancestors that might have straight away recognized Noel as like a royalty because like the Sea Dragon's Road spell might have been like a spell like when Noel pulled out that spell like I was really like better might have been or like the ancient priests might have been able to recognize that it's like an extremely high level exceptional high level spell and I'm considering like the Sea Dragon's Roar as well might have been like a spell an active spell that might have existed within like the Black Pride in like the rest path with also certainly members of Brave Resistance. It might have been like the members of the Black Pride that might have first used like the Sea Dragon's Roar spell. It's also definitely members of Brave Resistance. Might the Sea Dragon's Roar spell might have been like a high level spell that might have existed within like the Elf Black Pride alone. It's definitely members of Brave before like they were attacked and so spells and mana were all stolen and possibly stolen and taken away by like the royals and nobles, definitely not the favorite. This might be the precise reason for like it being either better or like the ancient African list straight away being able to like straight away being able to like recognize Noel as like a royalty as soon as like knowing build out like theater I guess spell is definitely my secondary impression. Or like the other possibility that I'm preferring is that like basically the classification of like royals and nobles like the other classification and everything might have only existed among humans even in like that very different ancient past like solely based on like the currency quantity is definitely the same also. So like but still I'm considering what might have changed all that upturned and changed all that upside down might have been especially like the discovery of like the like crime this pride with like that was like especially high mana like that might have been that ultimate discovery for like humans back then. Definitely my person famous. So like those protest humans that might have discovered like the like pride things like at that point they might have seen like the exceptionally high mana and like they might have seen this as like the ultimate weapon like their exceptional mana like the ultimate weapon that it's like stolen like basically they could use it to like basically destroy to basically bring down all the royals and the then current royals and nobles and destroy and defeat all of them and basically destroy all of them and so that like they could be like the next royals and nobles that way. This they might have like first unit might have seen such a villanistic opportunity and they might have like already taken advantage of like the kindness of extreme kindness of like the attack tribe to basically trick or trap them or like using those like trick or it might be through trick or trapping them like that. It is basically they might have like found a way to like steal like the man of the self like right and those first humans that had basically discovered and stolen like the man, especially high man of the self right might have totally replaced the then existing like royals and nobles as like the new royals and nobles. It's definitely my positive impression. So uh, that might have been what might have happened. And so like at that point, like basically like mana being like the being seen as like the ultimate currency that decides whether someone like makes it into being like a royal or like a noble. That's definitely my consideration. And since then, like look like finding stuff for like Fireman basically like the repeated attacks of like the aircraft right might have been happening since then from like that ancient past to definitely have a super emergence. So like maybe like aircraft five as well basically after like the initial attack might have like been moving around as like an as like nomad and living like a nomadic life only fearful of human since way back then. Definitely my consideration. Okay, so like I definitely want to say impression right now is that basically like the Julius right now would be like not just impressed but like would be more than just impressed. Would be like impressed to like extreme even though like Julius won't be showing it it's definitely not an impression. Solely to like the thing like solely without realizing like might be like only definitely we nailed the thing that basically the black group had basically by themselves and basically take defeated like those like the diamond kingdom as well as like the army of like the diamond kingdom as well as the explanation all by themselves. In actuality like the the King Julius considering like the King Julius would be like totally unaware about like basically the extreme relevant and his working role by basically like the Queen of Witches had to play in like past time so even being a Queen of Witches as well as like Fansel as well had to like play in like basically as then so even being able to like between like both like army of Victor and being fantastic as well as like the Queen of Witches like for Witches like army as well. Basically the whole they all had to like collectively play that it was like a collective team effort that basically went to the results of like basically the defeat of like the army of like the Diamond Kingdom as well as like the ISM and ISM. It's definitely this like this proves like basically this fact that basically the King Julius would be absolutely and totally would be unaware of definitely my personal regulation and hence like even though he might not show it like he would be like so extremely seriously, extremely impressed with like the Black Witch Pro right now. Naively impressed with like the Black Witch Pro right now is definitely my working tremors. And he will be so extremely naively impressed that basically the trying to just totally deciding to like straight away most likely promote Asta precisely to like a senior magic knight. That was a scenario that I'm looking right now. But the one delay like that whole ceremony, ceremony promotion ceremony with like magic night promotion ceremony like event and was referring like there was a thing to like for to like conduct like without delay something like that and that ceremony event and was referring there was a king himself like basically crowning as the promoting us into like the and giving us the length of of like being like a senior magic knight is definitely my personal impression. And I'm not remembering even though Vanessa was like eventually like the precise Black Prince promo that actually had eventually electrified and like the Doctor which had played like the biggest role in basically as ten through even being able to like return back safely to like the Black Prince place like basically with like the Magic Stone and everything that still I'm not defining like solely due to like the in just like only being unaware of all this like the thing like the thing like to just like giving all the credit mainly to like as stand as the dome and then the different most likely it would be just Asta alone that would be like promoted to like a senior magic knight when in actually like Vanessa would be like even more way more deserving of like senior magic knight position than Asta because I think still for it to be like there was a thing to like only that or which is to be totally unaware and to like only recognized as like having delivered like exceptional performance and basically there was a thing like not like only like I'm currently like the like oh, like there was a thing only like promoting After alone as like a senior match like it's like the scenario that I'm talking about everything and my personal also, like my percentage impression right now is that like even before like eventually finally towards the very end, but when we probably putting after to finally achieve a lot of becoming like those are things, but like even way before that, like but yet still in like the different parts, for example, that only still user like I'm considered only for things like the black hole Magic Knight squad, like the Magic Knight, the first Magic Knight squad that's like at like the last position when it comes to like stars and everything, like even a bit like negative stars and everything. I'm also putting like eventually in the instance, these are like the Black Bolt Magic Knight squad, like they surpass it, even like the Golden Dawn Magic Knight squad, even in when it comes to like the case of like stars, yeah, I'm also putting like the Black Bolt Magic Knight squad, like surpassing the Golden Dawn. It's like eventually like the it's like a possible definite scenario that I'm looking at depressing and my personal damage. And that will like sorely uh, blow the minds of like all the remaining Magic Knight squad, including like the Golden Dawn. He had all like collectively have branded and framed, branded like and set aside like the Black Bolt Magic Knight squad as like the worst Magic Knight squad. It's definitely my personal they them all getting collectively like simultaneously getting like that ultimate shock like that like this like literally making people like stories of having like the number one golden round for in the case of like staff is definitely not a trend. And that way, like eventually, like the champions are like the Black Wings crew, like match squad, like they're really stealing that number one spot from like the Golden Dawn, and like there is a thing they're really declaring, officially declaring like the Black Wings match squad as like the number one match squad, and basically that news just spreading throughout and basically like shocking everyone is like the general scenario that I'm actually only for making like the Okay, so like definitely not looking at ambition right now, but like you just would so reveal that basically that I don't know going to make that move. Like I was the move, the first move that like I implemented would be right now would be like attempting to make, but would definitely be failing. Especially like my personal I'm saying that especially that move of like the momentum will be precisely to like obtain the remaining magic stones, which would all be like the answer dependent right now would be like just three magic stone. I think like maybe remaining and all three of them would be precisely remaining at currently at like the whole castle of like castle of palace of like the king the Japanese member Murenga that would be precisely the location but like the remaining three magic stone would be like the first magic stone which would be from like the house of like the old man he that has that narrow brought to us like that would be like the one remaining magic stone and like the other would be like the secret magic stone obtained from like the underwater temple by the Black Witch. So that would be like the second and the third would be like the current magic stone obtained from like um, the Queen of Egypt, secondly my position. So with these three magic stones currently being present in the precise palace of in the precise castle of like the wizard king like I'm the wizard king like that would be like the precise location where like certainly within the Clover kingdom with the main location like the main wizard king like castle would be like the precise location where like the wizard king might have already by now might have gotten the move that basically that gotten the information that like the if the minutes are going to make their move to like collectively steal all the three remaining stones which are like collectively present in his like the things Julius is like that he has like safely hidden in his own cassette. Definitely my good name. And definitely like he would only have to mainly do it like William and is like most likely since like William Mansions would be definitely added to like the illumination, especially William Mansions would be essentially with that absolute stealth, would be precisely when I'm fully aware that like basically all three of like the magic stones are remaining magic stones are basically present in like the Julius castle. So like definitely that will be the precise reason for like the illumination that right now about to make their move and launch their grand scale attack on like the precise, but like this time they would be like not targeting like the destruction of like the floor kingdom or anything like that. Simply because like the eye of domination and like the ancient ancestors will be well fully aware that like their current army is like simply not strong enough to like destroy like the entirety of like the floor kingdom. In order to do that, like the ancient ancestors will be well fully aware that like he has to like basically once again like reawaken and like get back like Marine into the Demon Slayer sword as well as like the Fight Lord Grimnar and reawaken like the precise like giant demon spirit from like the legends. Like the name of the spirit and like the ancient which would be also according to his plan would be he would be like also having like strategized out like some sort of a plan to like quickly even greatly enhance like the power of the giant demon at that point that even would be like far greater than when it like last appeared during like the last during like the legend, especially when it is raining. So this would be like the ancient Israelites like plan. So like in order to do that, like since like the very first current top priority of like the implementation would be getting like those three remaining milestones. So like I'm considering like their next attack of the player implementation would like I'm considering like even though great number of like implementation members and considering an army will be present like I'm considering most likely like the internet lives to like strategize it out in such a manner that I'm considering like the core members of like the implementation including like third eye and I'm considering that attack like by now like Metro would have probably been fully killed. So like I'm considering Metro making his return in that attack of like the implementation as well as Araya, as well as like the percentage lecture. I'm leaning more towards the possibility of like maybe like the ancient ancestor like still refraining from like showing up, but like I'm considering like the percentage lecture as well as like Araya and Metro making his return. And basically like a bunch of other strong henchmen of like the implementation and above the brain like most likely the strategy would be to like exactly attack like the Clover Kingdom using their basic henchmen while above the brain like the actual like strong ones like Raya and like the percentages and Beto would be like potentially planning on like potentially having like the wizard king having some like focus on precisely the Clover Kingdom and distract them that way so that like they could like quickly and stealthily like infiltrate into like the castle of like do something and quickly try to like steal away like the steal back like the hidden don't in that process castle would be like the plan of like Lich and plan and approach that I'm going to sort of everything out of like the team of like Lich Raya as well as Metro. The leaders of the game also. So like I'm going to bring this attempt of theirs like totally backfiring and failing eventually with like certain scenario that I'm going to bring. And once again like it would be like definitely after one step once again like being that absolute obstacle once again certainly my person to impression. So that's like the basic scenario that I'm going to bring. Especially since like currently it's only like episode 56 like I'm going to bring it. Especially because of that like definitely this attempt is definitely going to fail. It's definitely my first impression. So with that, like the implementation being forced to like uh, retreat, make their retreat. Also, like job responsibilities that are like not only happening right now, that like basically currently like team is even figuring out like the current latest hideout of like the implementation. I'm considering that maybe even possibly being like a trap step for maybe Julius as well as like the remaining mates as well as like the library group as well. It's like also like another possibility that I'm like covering. So especially due to like William Band being like the figure of the life of like the certainly I wasn't range especially because like maybe William Manchester might have definitely played stealth like that to stealth William Band might have totally put on the absolute big hat and might have totally played a role in like some of the things Julius like currently even being able to like, figure out like the current latest location of like the height of like the Minnesota is also the demand of entertainment. So like it might be maybe like currently Julius even thinking that he has found out like the current hideout of like the feminism when in actuality he might be totally falling into like the first trap of like the feminism. So for like the was a scenario that like, maybe the plan might be to like separate like the black holes through by getting them, and that would be totally a fake hideout. Is also like the other person that I was saying. So like to get like the black holes through to that first hideout, where that hideout, then just with that hideout would be like the precise transition trap set for like the black throw to contain and like to take the leg of like the black throw right there, and to precisely also in the process through that process even steal as well like demon dweller and demon slayer sword as well as the cyclone criminal as well in the process, and to steal all that and basically to trap and takes the life of like the black throw and destroy like the black throw while precisely doing all this like for like the doing all that and basically then for them to like make their official move and like attack on precisely the Clover Kingdom to precisely steal like the remaining three magic stones. Not the Clover Kingdom, but like in like the castle of the Luther King to precisely steal the remaining magic stones. Precisely after doing that. It's definitely maybe like what they would be like the after midnight from movies or like planning definitely might not be very interesting because like I'm delivering maybe it might have been William Manson that might be like extremely confident and absolutely sure that he's great. With the Wizard King right now finding out about like with like most likely him having like the Wizard King in the fake man of him most likely having let like the Wizard King find out about like the this fake hideout which like with the Wizard King Julius will be only revealing as like the actual current hideout of like the feminism. Basically like this would be like to the William Manson would be the only thing that like the Wizard King would be straight away sending precisely once again sending like precisely like Yami and like the Black Crow to like precisely and so up to like for that precise hideout infiltration mission as well of like the IFL net control like so like but me what was the remembrance of like the blacklist for having like by now having like repeatedly having like obstructed and destroyed and uh like the plans also like the plans and missions and goals of like the examination repeatedly by now like I'm thing like currently like for like the minutes and it would be like the highest priority to like ensure the destruction of like the black people and simultaneously to like in the process like get back steal back the demon dweller and demon slayer as well as like the cycler demon as well. So like in order for them to like even for like the minutes to like even feel like even like confident to be able to like even launch an attack and be able to like even attempt that basically even for them to like even feel the confidence for them to like even attempt to like basically steal back and get back like the magic stone in like the thing to just castle is definitely not looking very emotional. So like this would be like precisely and I'm also bring like William Anderson be totally expecting that basically with like him most likely having put played a role in like basically currently the visiting like totally feeling as like he has found like the actual hideout current hideout of like the midnight and like basically which would be like a precise maybe strategized out by either the present day list or like the ancient and future list to like precisely and I'm positive they will be like totally confident that basically through like the information that William Evans might have totally provided to all of them like they might be like they might all be like pretty confident that like the uh, with Julius currently the thing that he has found like the actual hideout of the Kaiser and so like Julius is just straight away sending out precisely like the exact black hole so once again to like stop like the and so and just like that's exactly what they would be wanting according to the trap that they would have set up in that fake hideout. Like about the running the story about like the ISM and will be currently translating and planning the so like definitely my impression right now as for like what Julius right now would be totally fearing as like another battle into the fight like basically would be certainly like Julius would be have right now having that as good fear that basically it's like the item since he has gotten information that basically the item is out to make that move like definitely what precisely Julius would want, especially to for like the Latin groups, like as soon as possible, that infiltrate into like the hideout and stop like the isomerism before like they make their move and attack like the clock. That would be what like Julius would be totally expecting that basically the isomerism would be like precisely trying to like get like the magic stones and if they get like the magic stones then the next battle the next actual battle, like legend, the battle from the legend at that point would be like repeating once again with like the determination, without having gotten like all the magic stone. So this would be what like Julius would be clearing like another battle, like the legends to like repeat again. And if such a scenario even happens, like even like Julius who would be well fully aware as to like his limitations as well, even though Julius would be well fully aware as to like his strengths as well, that he's like the strongest wizard currently. Still, he would be also kind of fully aware of its limitations, that is unlike in like the legend where like the very first that had defeated like the giant dark monster. It's like that said giant dark monster was once again happens to get resurrected once again, then even the Joseph Julius himself would be like totally unsure if it's him by himself would be able to like repeat history and basically bring down that giant dark demons like oral strength and power. Even there was a thing for feel like Julius would be totally unsure of that, and hence why he would be like only feeling uneasy because like of the extreme responsibility that like if he were to like if he and if he fails, then that would mean like the end of like the class kingdom. So probably that the with the extreme pressure for like the King Julius and like that extreme tension and stress and uneasiness for like the for Julius right now, especially my present frame. So like so my question theory impressions that like right now the thing as for like what might be happening. My question theory impressions that like you just totally telling like the like as soon as possible like stop like diatominate like destroy and bring down like diatominate in their hideouts and like we just would straight away like assigning the job obviously to like the black force definitely from the and this time I'm going to bring Yami as well. Especially this is like an important mission I'm going to bring Yami as well totally going along. The entire black force to along with Yami will be heading off to like precise location that like Julius would have told Yami that is like the current hideout of like the so they are like one like the black force will be showing up eventually I'm going to bring them which and the scroll would have set up the ultimate perfect magical trap, like all sorts of high level magic for like the matches. So like I'm presenting eventually as like the like so will be entering that under the bring another dungeon or like a cave like dungeon and under the that would be what like the black so would be like informed through like Julius as like being like the current hideout of the life and so like that cave or dungeon like I'm presenting the like and Yami as well as Yami like falling for that trap and they really like getting into like serious trouble. And right then I'm interpreting uh, like the ancient episode sample interpreting still not making move at all. Like I'm interpreting him still preparing to like send Lich as well as like Beto as well as like Lich Beto and Raya to like basically just like a magic stone stealing that mission. Just at that precise point, it will be probably like according to the plan, it will be probably select for like the Lapis group and get back like the swords from Asta and basically take that bit, destroy and take the life of like the Black Widow and simultaneously they when they are trapped and like when they will be about to die like probably for the for like the at that point only for like the item to like make their move and head off to like the clothing definitely when those parents. So like the scenario that I was reporting is basically for like the cloth kingdom once again being attacked by like the army of like the Minatan and that only being like only being like a distraction by like I'm separating Judas would be in his like castle and right then the separating like precisely for the three of them to that show up like precisely Raya, Metro as well as like the present day list as well. It's definitely my person to reimburse. So like Julius will be having to fight like just like one versus three battle at that point. It's like the scenario that I'm preparing. And in that battle I'm also preparing like Julius, even though initially would be like putting up that all by himself would be putting up a great fight. Still I'm also preparing literally like even Julius like getting that awkward still even though Julius would get exceptionally strong as like there's some things like but the total difference still like against one against three would be like eventually prone to be too much even for like to just reflect the scenario that I'm observing and that way like as I'm considering as like and I'm considering that way like eventually like one of like the members like basically like finding out while all the fight will be happening like one of the member would be present in that castle of like the of Julius and at like the fight would be progressing and the Julius would be getting totally overpowered eventually I'm participating. that precise number of the determination by then like having done something and finally having figured out like the magic zone and how having collected like the magic zones like the scenario that I was different. So so different precisely as like maybe as the theme of like a lich Beto as well as like Raya would be about to maybe like seriously injure or like maybe even take like the things like that. So the at that point would be when like the whole like grand entrance of like the Black Hole School would be happening. And basically it would be like Yami and like the Black Hole School that would be showing up to the rescue and then the Pring most likely yeah, and I'm also bring like this entire time I'm also bring while like the whole great army of like the Midnight Suns would be attacking like the clock and as like that's right and like at that point I'm also bring all the remaining Magic Knights would be like totally ordered by like the naive wizard King Julius to like precisely take care of like all those attacks from like the Eye of the Midnight Sun happening in like the clock kingdom especially when I was in surrender. So like really because of that like that entire time like all the remaining Magic Knights squad and like their squad captains as well would be like obviously in like the floor kingdom basically trying to like subdue that like whole attack from like that entire huge army of like the Iron and that. It's definitely my personal impression and this would be like the best reason for like Julius like totally being all alone in like the in this like castle and basically that being how most likely him being like getting like cornered by of like three members of like the Domination with like Lich, like the Mercenary Lich as well as Araya as well as like Beto versus like the King Julius is like the scenario that I go delivering. So like so this might also be impression. So like once again like the lag is so by the time like Julius will be getting in like seeds trouble and will be about to die by the hands of like three of them like that's the last second like um Yami and crew like basically showing up and basically the Annabelle required a Yamian crew would be trapped in that sex dungeon of like the Eye of the Midnight. Like they are basically able to bring like one of like the basic henchmen of like Eye of the Midnight. So like basically getting too confident or like I'm supposed I either that look or like I'm supposed to bring it could be either them or like it could be either Lich or like a Raya or Beto. Like one of them like basically solely due to their extreme overconfidence and then totally revealing their plan that basically while you are all like the battle throws trapped and about to die like we would be like right now heading off and basically it would be like taking the life of Julius and would be stealing all of magic for the remaining three magic stones from that Julius cat like they might overconfidently reveal that to like Yami and the Black Book so while they would be like trapped in like that dungeon especially the scenario that Temple that would be like revealing that and that would be precisely how like by the time like Julius will be about to die by the hands of like Lich, Veto and Raya like precisely the Black Roof crew will be like precisely be able to like precisely by then show up to the precise directly towards like the precise castle of like Julius to precisely save Julius like the scenario that I was hoping and that way during that whole fight like I'm preparing definitely like the theme of like Lich as well as like Araya and Veto being once again being forced to like retreat eventually. It's like the scenario that I was delivering. But like at that point when they would be retreating like through that whole chaos of like that fight like I'm delivering even though like I'm delivering like scenario of like either like most likely them like at least being able to like still while retreating like them still succeeding in like being able to like retreat with like one more single match. So it's like a scenario that I'm delivering and that way like with like the midnight needing uh, when the situation was like dire domination, like basically needing three more matches was like impossible. After all that incident and chaos, like the situation changing with like dire domination, only needing two more matchstones. It's like the scenario that I'm just totally perfect. But like still, like Ascan Pro would be able to like Yami and Pro would be able to like save, prevent like all three of the matchstones from being stolen by like the Eye of the Midnight. It's definitely straight away. It's definitely my personal impression as for like the eventual scenario that I'm going to talk about.